Every summer, like clockwork, millions of American gardeners go through the exact same heartbreak. They spend weeks planting, they water every single day, they do everything right. And by August, their yard looks like it just gave up. Here's what nobody tells you. The problem isn't how much you care. The problem is the strategy. Because there is a way to have a gorgeous, colorful garden all summer long. One that barely needs watering, handles brutal heat, and practically takes care of itself. In this video, I'm walking you through 5 steps to build exactly that. Soil prep, mulching, smarter watering, free rainwater collection, and the best part, at the very end, I'm revealing the 5 specific plants that are absolute summer champions. Plants that look gorgeous, need almost no water, and come back stronger every year. Stay till the end, because that plant list alone is worth it. Subscribe right now and hit the bell so you never miss a tip. Let's get into it. Step 1. Fix your soil first. Now, I know what you're thinking. Soil? Really? That's where we're starting? Bear with me, because this one step is the difference between a garden that collapses in July and one that looks incredible all the way through September. Most of us across the United States are dealing with one of 2 problems. Problem 1, heavy clay soil. When it dries out in summer, it turns rock hard. Water just sits on top and runs off. The roots underneath are trapped in compacted dirt with nowhere to go. Problem 2, sandy, loose soil. The complete opposite. Water drains through so fast, the roots never get a real chance to absorb it. You water in the morning, and by noon, it's bone dry again. Both problems, one solution: organic matter. Good quality compost, well-rotted manure, or a solid organic fertilizer worked into the soil. In clay, compost breaks up that tight compaction and lets water move through and be held at the same time. In sandy soil, it acts like a sponge, slowing everything down and holding moisture right where roots need it most. Work 2 to 3 inches of compost into the top 6 inches of your soil before planting. That's it. You've given your garden a completely different foundation. One warning: don't use chemical weed killers to clear the bed. They don't just kill weeds, they wipe out the beneficial microbes in your soil too. Those microbes keep your soil alive and self-sustaining. Lose them, and your soil loses its ability to take care of itself. Pull weeds by hand. A little more work up front, but healthy soil pays you back every single summer. Here's the bigger picture. Most gardeners focus on what's above the ground: the flowers, the color, the shape of the plant. But the real story of every garden is happening 6 inches below the surface. Get that right, and everything above takes care of itself. Step 2. Mulch is your secret weapon. Step 2, and this is the step most people skip. Big mistake. Here's what happens in your garden bed on a hot July afternoon without mulch. The sun hits that bare soil directly. The heat pulls moisture up from the ground and evaporates it into the air. You watered generously that morning, and by 2 in the afternoon, the top layer is already dry. You're fighting the sun with a garden hose, and the sun always wins. Mulch stops that completely. Spread a 2 to 3 inch layer of bark chips, wood chips, or shredded leaves over your garden beds. What happens underneath is remarkable. Soil temperature drops 10 to 20 degrees compared to bare soil. Your roots are sitting in cool, moist ground even when it's 95 degrees above. Water evaporation slows dramatically, so you're watering less often and your water bill goes down. And weeds, they need sunlight to germinate. Mulch blocks that light. Most weeds never get started. One rule: never pile mulch against the stem of your plants. Leave a 2-inch gap around the base of each one. Mulch packed against a stem invites rot and disease. Bark and wood chips are great because they break down over time and feed your soil. But in dry regions like Texas or Arizona, decomposed granite or pea gravel works beautifully too. Zero maintenance, and it looks sharp around ornamental plants. Get something down. A bare garden bed in an American summer is a garden bed working against itself. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. Mulch doesn't just protect your plants during a drought, it actually improves your soil over time. Organic mulches like wood chips slowly break down season after season, adding nutrients and organic matter back into the ground. So every year, your soil gets a little richer, a little more moisture retentive, a little more capable of handling whatever summer throws at it. One simple layer of mulch, working for you all year long.
Step 3, the smarter way to water. Step 3 flips something that feels backwards, but makes complete sense once you hear it. Light, frequent watering every single day is actually making your plants weaker. When you water shallowly, moisture only reaches the top few inches of soil. Roots grow toward the water, and since it's always near the surface, roots stay shallow. 3 inches deep, 4 inches, that's it. Now a heat wave hits. A week of 95-degree days, no rain, hot, dry wind. The top layer turns to dust. Those shallow roots have nowhere to go. The plants wilt, burn, and collapse. Deep, infrequent watering changes everything. One long, slow soak, enough to penetrate 8 to 12 inches into the ground. Then you stop. Let the top inch or two dry out. A few days later, do it again. The roots follow that deep moisture downward. They grow a foot, 2 feet down, into cool, consistently moist soil where the heat simply cannot reach them. These are the plants that sail through a heat wave while everything else is struggling. Quick tip: after watering, push a wooden skewer 6 inches into the ground. Comes out damp? You're good. Comes out dry? Water longer next time. And for anyone with joint pain or arthritis, a soaker hose with a timer is a game changer. You lay it along the base of your plants, connect it to the spigot, set a simple timer, and it does the deep watering for you while you do something else entirely. Better for your body, better for your plants. And because it delivers water right at root level, almost nothing is lost to evaporation. You're using less water and getting better results at the same time.
Step 4. Collect free rainwater. Every time it rains, hundreds of gallons of perfect water hits your roof, runs down the gutters, and disappears into the storm drain. Gone. Every single time. That water is chlorine-free, fluoride-free, naturally soft, and exactly what your plants were designed to drink. And you're letting it wash away for free. The fix is simple: a rain barrel. Attach it to your downspout, and it fills automatically every time it rains. A 50-gallon barrel costs $30 to $80 at most hardware stores. Many counties offer them free or discounted through water conservation programs, so search your county name plus rain barrel rebate before you buy. When the dry spell hits in August, and it will, you've got your own water supply ready to go. For a larger yard, connect multiple barrels together or install a cistern that holds 200 to 300 gallons. One number to put this in perspective: a 1,000 square foot roof section collects over 600 gallons from just 1 inch of rain. 600 gallons that most people are simply letting wash away. Set it up once, let the rain do the work. And here's one more thing worth mentioning. Tap water in most American cities is treated with chlorine to make it safe for drinking. That chlorine can actually affect the beneficial microbes in your soil over time, the same ones we talked about protecting in step 1. Rainwater has none of that. It's pure, natural, and your soil loves it. So every time you water your garden with collected rainwater instead of the hose, you're doing your soil a favor too.
Step number 5. The 5 plants built for summer. All right, here we are, the part I promised you at the beginning. 5 plants that don't just survive heat and drought, they thrive in it, and every one of them is beautiful. Number 1, lavender. Full sun, dry soil, almost no watering once established.
blooms from early summer through fall in those gorgeous purple spikes. Bees and butterflies flock to it constantly, and that fragrance on a warm summer evening, drifting across the yard while you sit on the porch, there is simply nothing quite like it. If you only plant one thing from this list, make it lavender. Number 2, purple coneflower, also called echinacea, one of the toughest wildflowers native to North America. Blooms brilliantly through the hottest months. Butterflies love it, and it self-seeds. Plant it once and it comes back on its own for decades. Number 3, salvia. Blue salvia, red salvia, sage leaf varieties, all heat-loving, low water, and completely at home in full sun. Hummingbirds can't resist it. If you want life and movement in your garden all summer, salvia brings it.
Number 4, black-eyed Susan, a true American classic, native to the prairies, wildly drought-resistant, cheerful golden yellow blooms, and one of the longest flowering seasons of any perennial. Plant it once, and it quietly spreads on its own over the years. Number 5, autumn joy sedum, a succulent-type perennial that actually stores water inside its own thick, fleshy leaves. Think of it as a plant that carries its own water bottle. Almost zero irrigation is needed once it's in the ground, and it earns its name, blooming in late summer and fall with stunning clusters of deep pink flowers, right when everything else in the garden is starting to fade. It gives you color and beauty exactly when you need it most. One final tip. Group these 5 plants together in the same bed. They all have similar low water needs, so you can water them on the exact same schedule. This method is called hydrozoning, and it makes managing your garden incredibly simple. The right plant in the right place with the right neighbors takes care of itself. 5 steps. That's all it takes. None of this requires expensive equipment or hours of labor every week. It just requires building the right foundation once, and then letting your garden do what it was always capable of doing, taking care of itself. If this video helped you, a thumbs up means the world and helps this channel reach more gardeners like you. Subscribe for new gardening tips every week. Take care, enjoy that garden, and I'll see you in the next one.